Newsweek. Headline, Avatar the Last Airbender. Why the creators left the Netflix reboot. Yes, the Avatar creators have left. Michael Dante DiMartino and Brian Konietzko. Ooh, that's a tough one. Konietzko have announced they are both leaving Netflix's live-action remake of Avatar the Last Airbender after prolonged creative differences. I wonder what exactly the creative differences are or were between the streaming service and the show's co-creators. Now, for the record, really quick, because the last Avatar video I made was about a month ago, and I had a lot of people in the comments saying that I should watch Avatar because in that video I said how I have never actually seen it. Well, so many of you told me to watch it that I was convinced. I did watch Avatar. I pretty much binge-watched every season. I mean, I finished the whole thing now. It was great. Haven't seen Korra. Probably won't watch it. But I did watch The Last Airbender, and I loved it. It really lived up to the hype. I don't want to get into a whole discussion about that now. I'm about to talk about my favorite characters and all that. I'll save that for another video. We'll get into the details more, do a rambly video talking about The Last Airbender sometime for fun. For now, let's get back to the news. So they write from Newsweek, continuing, this is a particular blow for fans who were excited that a live-action Avatar was finally going to be done right. After all, the last time the pair had a falling out with the team adapting their work, we got The Last Airbender, a film that won 5 Razzies. For those of you that don't know, that's not a good thing. I don't really know what a Razzie is, to be honest, but I do know it's not something good on Rotten Tomatoes. It's like an award if it's really exceptionally bad or something like that, I suppose. I don't know. It's a gist of it. And has a 5% Rotten Tomatoes rating. Terrible. Netflix, however, has confirmed the project will go ahead. So they're still going to go forward with the project. Who needs the original creators of Avatar, right? Surely the Netflix upcoming adaptation will be fine. No, I'm kidding. I don't think it will be. They say, after the co-creator released an Instagram post and blog revealing why they left the project, the streamer released a statement. Now, I have this highlighted because it's a weird framing, right? The streamer, I think they mean the streaming service or platform Netflix. I mean, because the streamer kind of sounds like an individual streamer, like on Twitch or something. But I think that's what they mean. That's my assumption. So I just want to clarify that. I might be reading into this wrong, but that's what I believe they mean. Netflix released a statement saying, we have complete respect and admiration for Michael and Brian in the story that they created in the Avatar animated series. Although they have chosen to depart the live-action project, we are confident in the creative team and their adaptation. How many times have you guys heard that a company is confident in something and then that something is absolutely terrible? And then we finally have this. A post on his personal blog titled An Open Letter to Avatar The Last Airbender fans, DiMartino said, a quote, in June of this year, after 2 years of development work, Brian, Konietzko, and I made the difficult decision to leave the production. Now, I think there's actually more to this statement, but it's a little scuffed on this article. So let me hop over to, regrettably, CBR. All right, from CBR now, right where we left off. The statement reads, when Brian and I signed on to the project in 2018, we were hired as executive producers and showrunners. In a joint announcement for the series, Netflix said that it was committed to honoring our vision for this I'm sorry, that aged so poorly. Netflix said it was committed to honoring our vision for this retelling. Yeah, very committed. Although, to be fair, it's the creators that are apparently walking away. But over creative differences and all that. So if they really were trying to, respectfully honor the creator's vision, I don't think they would have the differences that they had, apparently. Unless we're in some sort of weird Twilight Zone where the creator's vision somehow completely flipped from what it originally was. And that's the conflict. I'm kidding around. I don't think that's the situation. That would be extremely unlikely. Okay, continuing. Unfortunately, things did not go as we had hoped. Look, things happen. Productions are challenging. Unforeseen events arise. Plans have to change. And when these things have happened at other points during my career, I try to be like an air nomad and adapt. I do my best to go with the flow, no matter what obstacle is put in my way. I gotta be honest, man. Avatar does have some really good life lessons. I know I wasn't going to talk about favorite characters and all that, and I don't know if this guy's my favorite character, but I really like Boomy's neutral Jing approach to how he handled the firebenders. Now, I'm not saying that's a good thing for everything, but in this day and age where there's such a hyper focus and such stimulus you can get due to the internet and all that sort of thing, people act on impulse a lot, and I do think there is a lot of wisdom in Boomy just saying, just take a step back and wait for the right moment to strike, basically. I mean, it's a lot more complicated than that. There's a lot of benefits to positive Jing and negative Jing too, but I like the neutral Jing approach because it's that prep kind of style, but there are benefits to all of it. But I don't want to talk about that. Let's continue on with the news. Okay, sorry, rambly. But even an air nomad knows when it's time to cut their losses and move on. Hey, that's kind of like what I was just talking about, actually. Even when you like a certain approach, you have to understand that it's not always the best, and some of the other approaches are good too. Wow, that's awesome. Continuing on. I guess it really wasn't so off topic. I mean, obviously it's Avatar, but continuing. I started to reevaluate what is truly important in my life and what I wanted to do with what's left of it. I took some advice from Uncle Iro. I looked inward and started asking myself the big questions. Who are you? And what do you want? I sought wisdom from Stoic philosophers who were big on differentiating between what is within our control and what isn't. Now I want to do a Berserk reference. In this world, is the destiny of mankind controlled by some transcendental entity or law? Is it like the hand of God hovering above? At least it is true that man has no control even over his own will. Is that the full quote? Did I get it? I haven't seen Berserk in 5+ years, but man, that quote always stuck with me. Unless I got it wrong this time. Feels bad, man. I'm sorry to be interrupting this so much right now. I'm just having fun with this. There's a lot of cool references coming up. Continuing. I realized I couldn't control the creative directions of the series, but I could control how I responded. So I chose to leave the project. It was the hardest professional decision I've ever had to make, and certainly not one that I took lightly, but it was necessary for my happiness and creative integrity. And who knows, Netflix live adaptation of Avatar has the potential to be good. Yeah, a big X to doubt. It might turn out to be a show many of you end up enjoying, but what I can be certain about is whatever version ends up on screen, it will not be what Brian and I had envisioned or intended to make. Oh, geez. I also want to be clear that this does not mean the end of my involvement in the Avatar universe. That's a very good thing to clarify there for anyone that might have been worried about that. These stories and characters are important to me, and the renewed interest and excitement in Avatar and Korra have been inspiring to see. So what's really cool here is the optimism, obviously, but also it's kind of a low-key implication. He's like saying, even though this Netflix thing didn't work out for us, it drove a lot of attention and hype back into the franchise, so it still kind of worked out for us. So that's cool. Writing this letter has left me with a very heavy heart. I know many of you will be disappointed and frustrated by this news. I think I'll finish reading this and then I'll comment. I get it. I share your disappointment and frustration. I also recognize this creative setback is small compared to the problems we're all facing as a society right now. And I think to be as positive as I can for the guy, he would be surprised how many people are not going to be disappointed about this, to be quite honest, because I think a lot of people are just worried about a Netflix live action thing in general and, don't expect a lot from such a thing. So this news, yeah, while it's definitely unfortunate, it doesn't change that much per se. Kind of confirms what a lot of people are worried about the thing not being good. And now, yeah, it's probably not going to be good. So most people are probably not that surprised or frustrated or disappointed. Don't get me wrong. Again, it's disappointing news, but is it really surprising? Not necessarily. So, and in a way, it's kind of good. If the production was going to be bad, like if it was going to be bad either way, might as well not have the creators involved with it, right? So I don't know. Just trying to look at it in a positive light. Thankfully, Iro offers some wisdom for that too. A quote from Uncle Iro. Sometimes life is like a dark tunnel. You can't always see the light at the end of the tunnel, but if you just keep moving, you will come to a better place. That's a good quote. I do like that one. I remember when he said that. He was speaking to Zuko, right? Maybe I'll keep moving and come to a better place. Thanks for reading and for your continued enthusiasm for the Avatar universe. With gratitude, Michael Dante DiMartino. Well, his statement was pretty good, well thought out, respectful to all parties involved, even Netflix. Let me know what you guys think about this news. Look forward to catching you in the comments, and I'll see you in a few hours for the next one. Take care.